at school there was me and 3 other friends.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they've all passed away under different circumstances over the last 10 years.
Yes.
So I had a lot of trauma. I've
Involved.
always feel some degree of imposter syndrome, and that's because I am always putting myself in rooms of people that know more than me. And I think that's crucial if you want to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel that you don't belong in that room.
Yes.
Because, they know more than you. You're not yet there. But you're not going to grow in a room full of people
Yes. Yeah.
that don't know more than you.
Exactly.
So it's a great place to be.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on today.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Honestly, it's a pleasure meeting you in person. I've been following your page for years, since I started my journey. And I've seen your page and your clinic and your coaching and everything grow from literally nothing, let's say, starting from 0 to where you are now with more than 200,000 followers on Instagram and one of the biggest clinics in the UK. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I feel flattered. I'm not going to be able to walk out the door. My head will be so big.
And I look forward to learning more about how you grew your business and what your aspirations have been and what your goals are for the future as well.
It'll be my pleasure.
No, thank you very much. And just to start off, I think everyone knows what dermal fillers are these days. From the trend that Kylie Jenner started back in the day. And that's got everyone into the whole injectables. And even men are starting to have treatments done as well.
No.
And even the skeptics are slowly converting themselves into having treatments such as anti-wrinkle injections and even going into fillers and skin
I think
boosters.
the stigma's slowly dying off ever so slowly. It's
Ever
still
so
there,
slow.
but it's going.
100%. Even myself, being in the industry for about 6 years now, I've just only recently started getting Botox and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So you can see it's coming back slightly, but the movement is minimal, but it looks very natural. And I think that's what's pushing people into having more treatments. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what made you start your career in aesthetics?
Gosh, where do we start? How long have you got? So my background is I did sport rehabilitation at university, and I'm not really a medic and I'm not really a non-medic. I don't really know where I fit in. I guess I am a non-medic, but I didn't come through the beauty pathway that everyone else came through. What I did do is semi-permanent makeup for a little bit. I met the love of my life in Ibiza, realised he had a girlfriend and he wasn't the love of my life. Flew home after this trip and my mum was like, well, you've left your job. You need to go out and make money. So I was like, oh, God, when I'm really artistic, I love being a creative. So I got into semi-permanent makeup, tattooing, all of the things. Don't have a beauty background. And then I literally just thought, you know what? I love being with people. At that point, I didn't know how exhausting it was to be with people. And then that's how I joined the industry. And luckily, because I'd done my sport rehab, I was able to go in straight away. And I was super lucky that I got to train with some amazing doctors along the way. And they really took me on board. And here I am today.
So starting off as sports rehab, coming on to aesthetics.
Completely random. I fell into it. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. I just fell into it. I've always been creative. So I was never made for the office. I worked in an office once and I left within 3 months. I just can't. I knew I was always going to be my own boss.
So you can't work for someone.
No.
You love to work for yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what aspects of working for someone kind of stopped you from continuing that office job, for example, or working for someone in the NHS, etc.?
So one of my core values is freedom, and I hate when that's challenged. And I feel that we are so lucky in 2023 that we get to create whatever business we want to create. We get to live our life however we want to live it. And being being an entrepreneur, you get to create whatever reality you want. And freedom's one of my core values, and you don't get that working for anyone.
Exactly.
Do you?
And did you find that the freedom aspect of having your own business comes straight away, or did it take time?
No. So I always say there's 3 zones of success. So first of all, a lot of people are in their comfort zone. And the comfort zone, I don't think, is a great place to be. It's a zone where you're likely to be working really hard, working long hours, high stress, and you're constantly working to put the next meal on the table, for example. So one of my core values is freedom. And I think a lot of people think it's a very, I don't know if linear is the word, but path to get there. And it is absolutely not. It's kind of like this, like the path there. I knew I was never someone that wanted to be stuck in their comfort zone. And I've pushed through my growth zone, which is where there's a lot of challenges. There's low control when you're there because you're in this. That's when the imposter syndrome creeps in. Because you are just completely, you don't know where you're going. But once you come out the other side, that's when you get to experience the freedom, when you're in that abundance zone, when you've got high control, you get to start saying no to things that don't feel aligned. You don't have to work, you still have to work hard, but there's less challenges. So like I'm there now, but it took a long time.
How long would you say it took you to get to that freedom stage?
I'd say last year.
Wow, okay.
It was 2016 when I opened up shop.
So about 7-8 years ago now, approximately.
4, 5, I'd say 6 years.
6 years, wow.
Until I was fully, until I really knew myself and I knew, and that's took a lot of like I said, like coaching. I've had some great coaches that have helped really pinpoint like my strengths and my like zone of genius, and it took a lot to get there.
So do you find that imposter syndrome is a reality in business or in any situation? And how did you experience it? If you could just tell us a little story or your experience.
I think a lot of people listening to this, regardless of their background, whether they're medic or non-medic, in this industry, there's a lot of he said, she said, and I think it gives rise to a lot of people. I know there was times where I maybe felt like a fraud. I was very lucky to be given great opportunities by some incredible doctors in the industry. And I would still sit in those rooms and those circles and feel like a fraud and I shouldn't be there. But actually looking back, I think if you're someone that's never felt like an imposter, then you are lacking some self-awareness because I think feeling like an imposter is the biggest indicator that you have this huge growth mindset. And that is like pivotal to success. Like you need that growth mindset to reach that next.
Would you say it's essential to experience some sort of imposter syndrome to change and adapt?
I've always feel some degree of imposter syndrome, and that's because I am always putting myself in rooms of people that know more than me. And I think that's crucial if you want to continue to grow. It's not always going to serve you. Like sometimes I'll get these thoughts and I don't know if you've read The Chimp Paradox.
No, I haven't actually.
That's a good book, and it's trying to separate the subconscious mind and it's just saying when you get these thoughts, it's like, thank you, but no thank you. Like that's your chimp speaking and it's not you.
Watch it like a movie, kind of just let it pass by.
Just let the thought, thank your brain for the thought. It's trying to help you. Saying, no, thank you. I don't want you right now.
Exactly.
Goodbye. But for the most part, imposter syndrome's really served me. Like massively.
Okay. So do you find that you use certain things to your advantage, would you say? Such as like imposter syndrome or 100%. Toxicity?
I think anyone, like I said, anyone that demonstrates that they have imposter syndrome is basically saying that they have a huge growth mindset.
Okay, and they want to succeed.
Yeah, you get imposter syndrome from being in a room full of people that typically know more than you. Sometimes you feel that you don't belong in that room. Because they know more than you. You're not yet there, but you're not going to grow in a room full of people. That don't know more than you.
Exactly.
So it's a great place to be.
Now, for example, in the UK, obviously, we have a wide variety of different types of people in the industry, such as obviously the doctors. And then you have the beauticians, and obviously there's a lot of new people coming into the industry now. Do you find that the beauticians feel more imposter syndrome, or do the doctors feel a certain level of imposter syndrome, or do they feel like they're on top of everyone and show it to people? Is there any toxicity in the environment?
I think in terms of the industry, so I always say you've got like the comfort zone, and then you have people in the growth zone. And then you have the abundance zone, and then to the side, you have like the stagnation zone. So that's everyone that's like, that's where you get the resentfulness, the toxicity, the negative Nancy's that hate the industry. The industry's really shit and all of the things. And it's just because they're not pushing through that growth zone. Doesn't matter who they are, what background they've come from. Some people, for whatever reason, they think that they're going to do all of the things. They say, oh my God, I'm 100% in. I want to do all of the things and put all of the effort in. But actually, they don't like being uncomfortable. Like, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, regardless whether you're a medic, non-medic, doctor, nurse, pharmacist, whoever you are. If you want to be successful in this industry, you have to get through that growth zone.
And how would you push through that growth zone? For example, if you're just in that stagnated area for years and years on end. I mean, yourself, you said 6 years, which is maybe a short span of time for someone to grow from 0 to millions. But someone who's stuck in that, into that stagnated zone, how would they progress and push through that?
I think people need to remember that whether or not you're someone that's like, oh, I hate the industry, oh, I'm gonna sorry, that distracted me. So whether or not you're someone that's like, oh, I hate the industry, I'm having a social media break, or all of the things. So whether or not you're in the stagnation zone or the growth zone, it's still really fucking stressful. Whether or not you're growing or not growing, you're stressed either way. You're not in control either way. It's all of the same things and emotions. So you may as well be in that growth zone and push through it. But something that's helped me get through that, and one of the reasons why I talk so highly of my coaches and people that have mentored me, is that they really help you to streamline and make sure everything that you do is aligned. Because if something isn't aligned with your core values, your zone of genius, all of the things, you burn out and you get exhausted, and then you fall off the path.
So have you experienced burnout?
I have. Until I got a coach, I think I was constantly going through cycles of burnout in some way or form. And you know yourself, like being in a client-facing industry is exhausting. It is very, very draining because you're constantly giving. So I think boundaries are really important.
Exactly. I think there's a time to say no, would you say? Or
oh my God, 100%. I think you get to a point where you get the privilege of being able to choose your clients.
Because at the beginning, everyone's like, yes, I'll do it. And then you end up becoming in that cycle of burnout and stress and trying to maintain your social media, promoting, but then saying yes to everything, even with the prices, for example. And I think that plays a factor with the imposter syndrome with prices.
Yeah, of course.
Would you say, I mean, there's a lot of people in the industry that are charging very low prices. I know this is off topic for what we're on now. But would you say you should charge a higher price, or would you just keep dropping the price? Well, for example, to get more clients.
If you have a low price, this could be controversial, but I said what I said. I think it's really, it can come across, obviously there's reasons. You might be doing a model day, a portfolio day. There's always a reason. But on the whole, it can appear desperate. It's kind of like being on a boat and like waving at people on the beach, like, please get on my fucking boat. It's really desperate. Whereas actually you're better being on the boat, sunbathing away, you've got your sunglasses and your cocktail, and you're like, I'm quite happy over here. Like, if you want to come on my boat, you're like, you can. If you don't, people, and also people that pay more pay attention. Like, people that are not paying a deposit or paid £10 deposit, they don't give a shit. They're not going to show up for you. If someone's paid 100 quid for a deposit, they're showing up.
They're showing up, exactly. They're showing up.
People that pay always pay attention. And also look at something like, I don't know, like Gucci and then Primark. Like Primark, there's like some Gucci, it's a higher caliber of service, isn't it? For example, there's less people in there, it's less crowded. So there's less competition. If you're pricing yourself low, think how many people are walking around Primark. That's all your competition. You're doing it to yourself.
And when would you say that kind of stage happens? For example, you did the analogy of sitting on a boat and waving at people and saying, come on if you want, but you've got to pay the price. When can you get to that level of mindset of the abundance mindset? Instead of the scarcity, for example, when do you feel like you can actually tell people, no, this is my price, and come if you want, and don't
do that from the day you start. Like, I'm not obviously like you. You're not going to jump. There's so many factors that come into play, but you can hold your own and value yourself from day dot. You don't have to earn that.
So you should have that kind of mentality where you're
straight away. And you can still, people will say, oh, but like, it's easier for you to say. You can still get models through the door and do a model price. But that's different because you're not selling yourself as someone cheap. You're saying, I need the content. So like, we're exchanging energy.
Yeah.
You give me this and I'll do that for you.
Exactly.
But it's, when you're actually marketing your full value prices, something really low, you're just, first of all, you're price led, you're not value led. You need to lead with value and not price, but also you're giving yourself more competition.
For no reason.
Makes sense. For no reason.
And going back to the coaching now, do you find that coaching helped you create that abundance mindset more so?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, in what way?
Going through, I keep going back to the same thing, but going through that growth zone is really hard.
Yeah.
You face a lot of shit and there was a lot of times where I nearly fell off because I got really like, they'll tell you things that you don't want to hear, maybe. Obviously, there's a lot of things you have to clean up in the business. There's a lot of new things that you need to, and it's really tough.
Yeah.
And they've kept me on the straight and narrow. They've kept me on my path, reminded me of my strengths, and also made me realize it's okay to lean back on team.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, it's weird. Like if our car breaks down, we go to the garage.
Yeah.
If the tap breaks, we get a plumber. But with our business, it's like we try and be the social media manager, the booker, like all of the things. And I've realized like it's okay to focus on the things that like give you joy and like light you up. Like those are the things you should be doing.
Yeah.
You don't have to love everything.
Yeah. You can't be everything in your business.
And they've really shown that to me.
Okay.
And I'm really, really grateful for that.
So is it something that you'd recommend to people to have from day one, or would you say it's when you're earning more money? Because I know these coaches come at a high price. So when would you say is the best time to have a coach? If you can afford it, or if you can't afford it, how would you create a mentality and push yourself through the growth phase until you can afford something like that?
I think that people will, I always say to people, look, like if you were going to make 100 grand this year, would that £3,000 investment be worth it to you? Like, come on, like, would that be worth it to you?
And that's something like, that you could use to make more money. Yeah, and
would it be worth it to you if, you had a better relationship with your family, you got to spend more time with your other half, you were healthier, you got to take time out and do things for you. Like, would it be worth it to you then? Like, always look at the bigger picture. Because most people that are in a position where they're like inquiring about a coach are used to giving up.
Okay.
And they need someone to literally lay it out for them and say like, you need this right now. But in terms of like when to get a mentor or a coach, obviously a mentor or a coach, the money is a byproduct of that.
Okay.
A coach is going to help you break down your journey.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you get on the train and you start your journey, you're already going to be making mistakes.
Exactly.
And it just depends how quick you want to move. Some people like to make mistakes on their own and learn from them.
Yeah.
Other people like to fast track. And so how quick do you want to move is what I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And yourself, I believe you've started your own coaching as well for people in the industry.
Yeah.
How does that work? Like, how do you manage both things, the clinic aspect of your business and also the coaching aspect? And what made you start the coaching?
So the clinics, I've really taken a back seat. I do one morning a week.
Yeah.
I have an amazing team.
Yeah.
Who I absolutely love. They're like my best friends. So I'm so grateful for them. So I don't really do much with the clinics. I have a team that run that. I have a VA and a PA that do, and a clinic coordinator.
Yeah.
So they sort that out.
So this is your freedom now to start something else and something you're more passionate about, for example, helping people.
And I had people all the time asking me for advice. And I just thought, do you know what? I have so much to give.
Yeah.
And I naturally found myself just giving out all this knowledge for free.
Yeah, of course.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, and I enjoy it.
And this is valuable knowledge as well.
Yeah, I have so much to give. And I think there's so many people out there like marketing gurus, but they haven't walked the path. They haven't been in aesthetics. They haven't got the proof of saying they've done it.
Exactly.
They think they know all the stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, where's the proof?
I've seen a lot of Facebook ads actually of people saying, we help aesthetic clinics grow, etc.
Yeah, you see them all the time.
But they're not actual practitioners. They're more like just maybe someone who's got a marketing background trying to sell courses online.
Yeah, that's it.
But someone who's actually been in the feet of practitioners, giving that knowledge to someone, it makes sense. It makes more sense that you'd learn.
It lands with your audience better.
Exactly. And I think even, for example, as a practitioner myself, you get to a stage sometimes where you're paranoid, for example. You've had a bad client, for example, that's complaining for no reason whatsoever, and you become like more of an overthinker. And I think someone who's in the actual industry can help you overcome that and create steps, for example.
Empathize. We've been there. We've all been there. Yeah.
Well, have you ever experienced any toxic clients per se?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So first of all, I just think, and something I always tell myself now, like, if you want to make a big fucking impact in this world and you want to do big things, then not everyone's going to like you.
Not at all.
Like, look at like Tony Robbins. He will get complaints. People won't like his course.
Of course.
Not everyone, the Kardashians, whatever doctor they go to, not everyone's going to like him.
Yeah, of course.
People are going to get complaints, but you have to remember, it's not about you.
Yeah.
It's them.
Yeah.
And most level-headed people with a consciousness, with a conscience, will know that everyone has differing perspectives, and a lot of them will just want to come to a good resolution. If they're not being reasonable, then I always take whatever route will protect my energy.
Yeah.
So I'm really like sensitive to adrenaline. Like I get stressed so easily.
Yeah.
So I just like to keep my adrenal response really low and just do whatever I can to protect my energy. There is times when you have to make a point, unfortunately, and it never feels good.
No.
To make an example out of someone.
Yeah. And do you feel that it pushes you back to a certain degree? Like, for example, your first ever time having, a toxic kind of scenario happening. Do you feel like it pushed you back in your
I think at the
advancement?
time, a lot of us in this industry do it because we care and we love people. So naturally we take that on.
Yeah.
And as an empath, I'm sure you're the same.
Yeah,
it upsets you. You think, oh my God, but I've realized now, I mean, I'm barely in clinic, so I can't say I've had a complaint for a very long time. But that's just because of the volume of people I've been doing. It's not everyone gets complaints. But I
mean, it's very little, the amount of complaints versus the numbers.
Yeah, of course.
When it does happen, do you feel like, especially the first time, that it took you aback a little bit?
It did take me aback, but I realise now when I look back, for example, one complaint was absolutely ridiculous. Like, obviously you can't go into it, but it was so far-fetched. It was insane.
Yeah.
But that experience, when I had to then go to a solicitor, gave me, I walked through the steps.
Yeah.
So then when the next one came, I didn't have to walk through the steps anymore.
No.
Because I already knew.
Exactly.
So I'd been through that. So every experience is like, I've banked it as I now know what to do here.
Yeah.
So I have this bank.
Yeah.
So now, whereas before it would take this, it would emotionally drain me.
Yeah.
Now it's as simple as I go to that bank. I think, how did I deal with it last time?
Yeah.
And you deal with it that time.
Do you find that it makes you more of a harder person, or do you think that it keeps your same personality, but just that you're more prepared for the situation?
I think you just become more prepared.
Yeah.
I think I'm still an empath, and I'm still I can still let things get to me if I overthink things.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think so many people watching this will be the same, because that's our job. Like,
that's our job.
Help people.
Exactly, you're in a caring kind of environment.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people that are very thick-skinned that don't give a actual crap.
Yeah.
But do you find that that's a good personality to have?
No, of course not. You're in like a client-facing role. Like I think it's not realistic.
Yeah.
When people sit there and say all of these things, I don't think it's realistic. Most people have a heart.
Yeah.
And if they're honest with themselves, people do go home and take things home with them.
Okay.
But it's about having the systems and the structures in place, so that, for example, people will complain that someone's got this bruise and they're messaging them at 11 at night and they think it's an occlusion.
Of course.
But if you take the steps to prevent that happening, for example, educating them in clinic of how to do a cap refill, how to X, Y, and Z, you educate them there, you won't get all of those questions at 11 o'clock at night.
You'll get them very rarely.
Yeah.
Like, I remember once I had a lady panicking, even though I went through every single step. I'm very thorough with the people, and I have like a script in my head that I just go through in that style. But still, after even all of that, she messaged me about, I think it was 11 o'clock actually.
Yeah.
And
Always.
she was exactly, well, I don't know why it's 11 o'clock, the witching hour.
Yeah.
But literally, I felt like she was so scared that I actually drove down to the clinic in Leicester and went to see her personally.
All been there.
Yeah. And I mean, it was quite funny. It was summer. I was in my shorts. I was like, look, sorry about the casualness. But I did the whole cap refill and etc. And I told her, look, this is exactly very normal. I mean, there is swelling, of course. You will look like a duck tomorrow.
Yeah.
It can be quite extreme. Some people experience severe swelling, but it all does go down after the first few days. And once you kind of do that, I think for certain people who are extra paranoid in that situation, it does calm them down a little bit. It never happens again.
Yeah.
But I think going through and educating your clients is very, very important.
And just priming them. Like
being ready.
Yeah,
exaggerate.
That they know
Yeah.
that unless it's really bad, obviously I always say to them, if you're ever worried, like I never say don't message me. But welcome. It just makes them think before they go to message you about something that's clearly a bruise, then
you give them that kind of science lesson beforehand so they know. And
also I never give my number out. This is off topic, but so I will always before bed, so I don't actually do it because I have team. But we'll check the emails until like 11 every night. Someone will just not be on them. No one will be replying to them. Just to check there's nothing like, oh my God.
Scary.
Nothing scary. So someone will always just really quickly check. But I won't give my number out to anyone because then they start thinking they can give their number to this person. And
exactly. Then random people are texting you and calling you.
It's too much.
Yeah, it gets intense.
It's draining. Like you need to protect your energy.
Exactly. Like you're spending time with your family, for example.
Yeah,
and
family
then
first.
Next thing you know, you get some messages from random people wanting to book in at 9 o'clock at night, for example.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy. And then you get, should I reply? Should I not? Does it look professional? Or, should I just reply and book them in? For example. And how do you find managing a lot of people in your team? Like, do you find it easy or do you find that's an extra burden? Or is it something that you've learned along the way?
My team have been with me now for all of them have joined and stayed.
Okay.
We're only losing one, sadly, because she's emigrating. Good for her.
She's going somewhere nice?
She's going to San Francisco.
Wow.
She's built this incredible new business in maternal health. So I'm really excited for her. But but on the whole, the team have all stayed with us.
Yeah.
So we're at a point now where the team know their job. Like they don't need their hand held, if that makes sense.
So they know what to do. There's a system.
Yeah, like they're fine on doing their own thing. We'd meet up and we do conferences together and we all make random presentations and share them or whatever we've been up to in the year. Maybe someone's done a conference with whoever and we all bring it together. But my team, I'm really lucky, touch wood,
are quite sensible and independent.
But in terms of like hiring, obviously I've learned a lot. Like I'd say hire for the role, not the person. I think so many people in this industry are like, oh fuck, I've got too much going on. Where's my friend? They need to manage my diary. And like they're not gonna have the skills that you could get from maybe like a VA that has a broader scope of work and that's really gonna help progress your business and bring in the income.
Virtual assistant's good? A VA, you said?
Yeah, so it just depends what you want.
Yeah.
Like we have
I need one, I think.
Like setters in the DMs. So there are people that will like close DMs and stuff like that.
So is that someone that's a virtual assistant that can help you do that?
That's someone completely different.
Oh.
So we do it for like the online side of the courses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's so many different things. So if anyone watching this is thinking about like recruit can't get my words out, recruiting. Think about who's going to bring in the most revenue first and then work backwards from
because sometimes I feel like I'm slow personally in responding to many messages because you get a lot of DMs, for example, and sometimes you can be asked, you can't be asked, and then you feel bad when it's very late and you're like, how do I kind of make up for it, but I think definitely a VA or a person, would you say a personal assistant or would you say a virtual assistant?
Whoever you have just needs to be trained in sales basically.
Closing.
Yeah. Because if you're literally just saying, oh, here's my price list, again, you're leading with price and not value. And you need someone there talking about the value that you offer. And you're never acting out of turn or immoral because at the end of the day, you can take someone's money and we all act out, well, you'd hope everyone would act out of integrity anyway when they're in the chair. If they're not suitable, then they're not suitable. It is what it is. But getting them in the chair is the hardest part.
Exactly.
So you need someone to do that. But also, just because I think a load of people get disheartened that they might not have like 1 million people in their DMs. 1 million people or 1 million leads. Like there's been times where I've tested content strategies and I've had like 300 DMs and we've got 2 bookings from it. Like what's the point in that? Or someone else might just get 5, but they might be really high quality. Pre-qualified leads that all go and book in for a 5 mil package.
Yes, exactly.
So it just depends.
So how would you say, coming on the topic of increasing the number of your DMs, how would you how would you help a new through your coaching business? How would you help a new practitioner get more DMs, for example?
Yeah. So when you land on an Instagram page, it needs to be really, really clear who it is you serve. And you need to speak to a very specific type of client, whoever that is for you.
Yeah.
So when I go on someone's Instagram, if I can't see whether or not they can help me straight away, if I'm their like niche, if that makes sense, then I'll click off it. I'm bored. Like I want to know straight away who it is, what they do, and who they serve.
So how would you drive traffic to that page itself?
Okay, so in terms of driving traffic to an Instagram page, again, if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So you need to be really clear in your marketing who it is that you're there to help. Market to pain points. Make sure that you're speaking to and talk about the value that it will add to someone's life. So no one wants to know that they're having a, like, I don't know, 1 ml of product placed underneath their Malar fat pad. Like no one gives a shit.
No one cares.
But if by saying that you can say your under eyes are going to brighten so that you no longer have to go out and feel self-conscious that you've got dark bags under your eyes, or non-surgical rhinoplasty, for example, so that you someone got bullied or whatever, so that you can get married and feel confident in your wedding photos. These are all things that people are like, that's me. Like I want that. Rather than I'll straighten your dorsal hump. Like that doesn't land with people.
And you see a lot of practitioners do that, actually. I mean, do you feel like it's unrelatable?
They don't know.
Okay.
And if in education has its place, but if some people, that's their marketing strategy, is just reeling off all of the big words. And I'm telling you from experience, that doesn't work.
It doesn't work,
No.
So the best thing is to kind of relate to the audience, what value you can give them, and then obviously telling them what procedure will help them for that specific condition.
People are driven by greed, urgency, obviously value, like the value you can add to someone's life. And if you've got higher value, like ticket items or packages, whatever, they want it now. So that's another thing. Like if your waiting list is really long and you think you're like so cool because you have this really long waiting list, which was me.
Oh, wow.
I thought I was like the coolest person ever.
You're like, everyone's waiting for me.
I was losing so much business because people don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. If I want a hydrofacial, I want it tomorrow. Like I'm so impatient. I'm the worst.
You're right, actually,
And I want it now. So think of how many people I was losing. So if you're someone that's like, I'm really cool, I'm really comfortable, I'm really fully booked, you're a loser. Like, congratulations. Like, your business isn't sustainable because you're just losing loads of people that they're not going to wait for you.
No, they'll go somewhere else.
Well, they might wait for you now, that you're still losing people. So you need an avenue to get them seen, to take someone on. Like, a waiting list is really like, I mean, too long if it's any more than like a month.
Wow.
Even shorter, like you're losing people.
You're losing customers.
Unless you're cool with that, then whatever.
Realistically, if it's someone like me, I want to get in next week or tomorrow even. Like, I'm adamant, I want it done.
I'm like, I'm this week. Because there's a reason. We're all so busy. And I think there's confusion. People think, oh, it's high quality, like I'll wait for it. People seeking high quality and they want to spend big money. Do you think if someone that wants the next Prada bag wants to wait 2 months for the bag, they want it now.
They want it now, and they'll pay a premium for it.
And they'll pay a premium for that. So that's another thing. Like, yes, if you up your prices, you might lose some customers, but it won't it won't do anything else other than up your income, because you're going to gain customers that are happy to pay that premium. And even if you don't, your waiting list will drop so you can fit more people back in.
And then there's people that are willing to pay, they'll pay for that price. So just for motivation for all our viewers, and you being such a big clinic in the UK, how many DMs do you have to go through a day?
Oh, well, I don't do them.
Okay, you don't do them anymore.
I don't know.
Or back in the day, how many did you go through?
Day. I think Instagram as a platform's massively changed. Oh my God.
No worries.
Paying footsie. Right. Are we good? Right. So Instagram as a platform's massively changed. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, the industry's dead and all of the things. Like, it is so much harder now to drive traffic. Like, you need like strategy, which is a whole nother kettle of fish. But it's a lot more difficult, so you have to be a lot more specific in your marketing. But I know that Meta's profit margins, I can't remember the exact figure, I think it was like 36%, have dropped dramatically.
Wow, how come?
Because they stopped. A lot of people, when Facebook spoke to people or Instagram about what they liked and disliked about the platform, they didn't like all the marketing and all the paid ads.
Okay.
So they cut the paid ads.
Yeah.
So loads of creators and all of the things, they didn't spend the money on the marketing.
Yeah.
So the profits went down on the platform. In terms of influencers now are typically paid like 20% of what they were paid before.
Wow.
So it's lost its influence, if that makes sense. So it's a lot harder to funnel through clients. And there's obviously a lot more noise. Like you have to really cut through that noise to get seen. So unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You have to show up on like, it's not dying, but I don't think it's a forever. So whilst it's still here and we're really lucky to have it, use it.
Okay. And how would you use it now compared to before? Like when it was easier, how would you change your strategy to get more?
That's like a whole new
it's a whole new thing,
podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all of
we'll have to do it again.
Focus on, I'll come back, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
Focus on pain points, speak to who it is you really want to serve, get really, really specific with who you want to serve.
Yeah.
And market to them.
Okay.
I'm not someone, obviously there's a horses for courses, but I hate like focusing on like specific techniques like reels and I know there's a lot of amazing people out there that teach that, but that one of my core values, as I said, is freedom. And I think you're constantly, I want to teach techniques that stand the test of time, and things like that are constantly changing. So I like to teach things that you can use across any platform. Because reels, 1 minute, 5-second reels are doing well because then people keep watching them, so it gets the view count up. The next minute, it's a trend, it's different every week. I can't keep up with that.
No, and same with TikTok as well. Yeah,
we're there. A lot of people are there to inject. They're not there. To learn. So if you know at your core what attracts customers to you, and you have those core pillars in place, then you're onto a winner. But it's a lot harder than it was.
And do you think it's harder as well, not only because of the social media changing? Do you think there's too many practitioners out there, or is there enough, as they say, fish in the sea for everyone to eat from? Is it still the same, or is it worse now?
If you've got your specific person that you want to treat, you'll never treat everyone in that niche, even if you tried. Never.
So there's always enough, would you say?
Yeah, it's like pizza shops in an area. There could be 3 pizza shops in one parade. They're never going to be able to serve everyone in the town in one night. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like,
and then how would you stand out then, for example, from that crowd? Because everyone's so generic these days. I mean, there's a lot of people that manage pages, for example, and it all looks the same.
Oh,
so
my
how
God,
would you stand
all
out?
Look the same. It's like they've all got
You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the pink with the gold.
And then it's like a bit of faded thing.
Bit of butterfly.
Yeah. So how would you stand out? Like, I mean, I think everyone's maybe a bit bored of it, or they're running on cheaper prices, for example. So how would you stand out to make sure that you're like number one, or not even number one, but someone that's worth going to?
Are forgetting that behind any business is a person, and people buy from people. People buy from you.
Yeah.
So just showing up as yourself, like as your most authentic self, speaking to exactly who it is,
being yourself,
being relatable.
Yeah.
And people buy from, you could run an Instagram purely from reviews. You could run an aesthetic Instagram doing this with a client there.
Yeah.
Your whole page could be that. People love watching videos, like video testimonial. Like I'd much prefer to go to someone, and even if I'd never seen their work, but I've been on their page and there's 100 video testimonials, than someone with like 3 insane pictures of before and afters. I want to hear it from people.
The person,
So
from your clients and stuff,
reviews.
So do you find before and afters are dying off, or?
Before and afters are amazing because you're showing a transformation, and that's what people want.
Yes.
But a before and after carries more weight if you can talk through the pain points and get personal. So share stories of how this has changed that person's life.
Yeah.
That's why people want something.
Okay.
Not just the before and after, if that makes sense.
So they want more than the before and after.
Yeah, of course.
Because I remember back in the day when I first started, I just put a random, this is the before.
Well, that worked back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah?
Yeah.
People were more simple, would you say?
Yeah, but Instagram, the engagement now is so much lower. I don't
100%.
know the figures, but it's so much lower. You have to really go for it.
You have to go for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
To get any traction.
So moving on from obviously the whole social media, etc. How do you, as Antonia, manage your family life, the work life? How do you balance everything? Do you believe in balance, or do you think it's all a myth?
I think that anyone, so I know so many like multi 7-figure business owners, and let me tell you, no one out there with a business like that is like running their business from like a super yacht. Like that's just bullshit. Like you have to work. And I think if you truly love something and you truly have found your thing and you found your flow, then it begins to feel easy, and then you realize you're creating an impact, and then you want to naturally keep going. And I'm just like I love to work. But I've definitely, without going into too much detail, I had so at school there was me and 3 other friends. And unfortunately, they've all passed away under different circumstances over the last like 10 years. So I had a lot of trauma. And when those things happened, and then I was watching like a random Facebook video, and this lady had terminal cancer. She was on her deathbed. And she was like, someone said, can you give 3 pieces of advice? And she was like, stop working so hard. Stop worrying about everything. Go on the fucking holiday tomorrow. Don't wait a year. And when you realize, like, it puts everything into perspective. And I realize now so much that I do not want to spend my whole fucking life working. And because I have such a strong like North Star, like why, I'll move heaven and earth to get there. So I'll do all that I can in my power to create a business that works for me. And mindset was a huge thing. So a lot of people get up in the morning and they're like, oh, I have to go into clinic today. And it's like, no, hang on, you get to go into clinic today. You get to get in your car, go into clinic and work the hours you want to work. Like, you get to do that. You don't have to do that. Gratitude is like the highest frequency that you can be on. The same frequency as love.
That you can wake up and actually go to work, make some money.
You're so lucky. You get to create whatever life you want. So, and that's what I'm at the minute. Like, I am constantly evolving, growing. Like, I don't really have an ego anyway, but I'm like a sponge. And even though I feel really abundant as I am, I'm constantly trying to learn more so I can work less and work smarter. Basically.
So you could technically, let's say, pack your bags tomorrow and go out to holiday in Dubai, for example?
I have no ties. So I have an insane team. I have clients that I do on a Wednesday morning. Literally. The coaching and everything else can run itself. I show up once every 2 weeks, and I obviously support my girls, but I don't have to, I'm not bound anywhere.
So do you find that gratitude mentality slowly over time, grafting, working hard, being grateful to wake up and go to clinic every single day for, let's say, 5 years, has gotten you where you are today?
100%. I think so many people are in victim mode, and it's really interesting because so many people that want to be coached by me, or I've been very lucky. All of my girls have been amazing. There's only been the odd person I've had to say, get out of victim mode. Like, you have to be accountable. Like, success isn't transactional. You can't get a mentor or go on the course and expect to, in exchange for that, just do all of the things. And like, it takes like a massive, like I keep saying, growth mindset. You have to push through it. You have to be grateful.
So what's the first step that someone should take to remove themselves from being a victim and moving on to gratitude and working harder or working smarter, for example? How do we stop becoming a victim? What's the first step?
I think you need a really strong why. I think if the second that you become disconnected from your why, is when it all goes tits up.
And what can your why be? What can it be like? Is it
not money?
Not money,
because money's not a driver for it. People think money's the driver.
That's exactly what I was
People think the house is the driver, and then you get the house and you're like, oh, I'm still depressed. Like, what?
So what would your driver be? Say you've got no kids, you've got no wife, you've got no mum, for example. What would your why be?
Life's really fucking short. And the fact that I know that it's like not great thoughts to have, but it can be taken like that. So I'm like, I get up in the morning and I do my couple of hours work. Even if I'm not feeling like it, because I know that I'm creating generational wealth, and so that, God forbid, regardless of what happens, everything's going to be okay.
Everything's going to be fine. So it's more about that we're on this earth for a short span of time. Make the most of it, but also don't be a victim.
I don't want to be working all day every day.
No,
but I will be if I don't put those 2 hours in the morning now.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
So it's more about small, what's the word that Warren Buffett says? Compound interest. Is that correct? So I think doing small extra things every day for the first, let's say 10 years, it adds up, and then you can live a more healthier, happier life in the future.
But I just, it really annoys me, and I just have no time for it. Like people that are just in that victim mode. And you see it in the aesthetics industry. We all see it. The catty comments, this industry is oversaturated. Yeah. And some people will even come to me and be like, how are you going to make me money? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to make you anything, hun.
No.
You have to make your own money. You have to be accountable. Like, I'm not going to hold your hand.
So would someone, for example, that buys your course then complain and say, oh, I didn't make anything back from it? Would people say that?
Touch wood. No one has. But if anyone did, then, I mean, it'd be easy to see if they've gone through the modules.
Exactly, Because there's certain steps that you have to take getting out of victim mode.
There's so much more to it.
Yeah.
So
it's all about self-building and removing the toxic state.
Yeah. And do you know what? True entrepreneurs that will go on to make big impact are in the 1%. They're one of the elite. They think differently to everyone else. That's why so many people be like, oh, let me go and ask my partner. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, that's not really going to work because this is about you. Like, this is so many people, like friends and family, won't be able to relate to you.
Okay.
And that's not going to help at all.
At all. You've got to take that first step. And with full force, really,
100%. Like, if you want to create an impact in the world, which I do, then, this is... Don't listen to people that don't make money advise you on how to make money. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And for example, with gratitude, what would you define gratitude as, and how can you implement it in your daily rituals per se? Or should we have daily rituals, or is it not worth actually spending time?
So I think it's not something I massively divulge into, but I'm just thinking I was going to say, anyone watching this, I wrote it down because I wanted you guys to. So first of all, where was it? There's something called the Clifton Strength Finder, which allows you to identify strengths in you and like your personality. Yeah. But in terms of gratitude, I would say, and rituals and stuff like that, we're all very different. We're all wired very differently. Yeah. And if you understand your human design, so that's who you are at your core, when you've come out the fanny, like you are at your core. Yeah. And so I'm a generator, and there's like generator, manifesting generator, all of the different things. If you know who you are at your core, you can really work in what's called your zone of genius. Okay. And everyone's different. So, like, you might be really good with rituals in the morning. Yeah. I'm fucking shit in the morning. I can't do it, I'm an evening person. I can be up creating, doing... At night. All of the things. I used to be a, like, competitive swimmer. Wow. And if I raced in the morning, I would never make the final. But if I raced at 10 p.m. at night, it's in my blood. Like, I'm a night out. Everyone's different. Yeah. I hate rituals. I think we already feel overwhelmed sometimes. Yeah. I think that adds to it. But some people might work really well with that. Yeah. I think something that feels easy and realistic for you, but gratitude's so important.
Because you hear a lot of people saying morning routine. You have to have a morning routine. All millionaires and billionaires have morning routines. But I feel sometimes not everyone's made for that. Like, you can't just wake up and be motivated straight away.
Why is it always that it's like people are like, oh, I want to be a billionaire and I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's like money isn't the end goal. Unfortunately, it's the driver for a lot of people to join a course and all of the things. But actually, a lot of millionaires, billionaires aren't happy. Like, I don't want to be working all day, every day. Yeah. Like, that's not a vibe for me.
No. So it's all about just gratitude, taking the step out.
What I do in the morning is I have a nice cold shower. Okay. Because I love the way, not mentally, it's really weird. I love the way my body feels after. It just wakes me up.
Okay, I've never tried that actually. So I might give it a go.
I love doing that. Yeah. But other than that, no. I don't have a celery juice. I have Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa Pops is the best. And 100%. And a nice coffee.
Yeah, and also you have to be realistic. Like, a lot of people have kids. Like, I have a little boy, and you will get coaches that are like, we have to get up half an hour earlier, and then you have to sit on your heat mat, and then you have to do this and that. And it's like, when you've done 2 night feeds, I ain't getting up at 6 a.m. to sit
It's
on
not
the heat
happening.
mat and drink my celery juice. No,
Exactly.
thank you.
I'm waking up,
You have to
Cocoa
be
Pops.
kind to yourself and be realistic, because otherwise you won't maintain it.
Yeah.
It's not maintainable if it's far-fetched.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And on the topic of gratefulness and gratitude, I'm really, really grateful that you've come here today and given us all this information.
I'm so grateful to
and
you've
it's
asked
been
me.
a pleasure, 100%. And if everyone's enjoying this, and only if you're enjoying it, subscribe and give us a little like. Bit cheeky.
Thank you so much.
But quickly before we finish up today, if there was, and I know you treat a lot of celebrities and you've treated a lot of famous people that have, I think, Geordie Shore and different reality TVs and Instagram models, etc. If you were to treat another celebrity that you've not treated yet, who would it be and why?
I can't say a name.
Okay.
But I would like to reverse some treatments.
Okay.
I think that I want to get my hands on a couple of people and get them back into their natural, most beautiful selves.
Okay, that's good. That's good, because I've seen a lot of celebrities overdo themselves. And I always think, is it the practitioner that's too scared to say no to them because they're such high profile?
Well, you have to. I've had there's been many times where I've maybe treated people, again, I can't say, and in the past, and then since then they've gone on and gone too far, and I can't treat them anymore because I'm putting my name to that. It's not worth it to me, regardless if they've got 10 million, 20 million followers.
Yeah, you don't want your name to that procedure there.
No.
Do you find that when you say no to someone, any patient, not only a celebrity, that sometimes when you say no and say come back in 6 months because I don't think you need it, they go on to other practitioners and then come back to you in the future?
I think my ideal clients are the ones that know, like, and trust me. That's like a massive, they love me for that.
Yeah.
And the ones that I lose, I wasn't meant to treat. They're not my ideal client anyway.
They're not your clients. They're just the ones that drift from one person to the other.
Yeah, so it doesn't really bother me.
Okay, and possibly mess their faces up.
Yeah, and I almost love saying no sometimes because I normally always get a hug and they're like, thank you.
Yeah, they're happy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like, you could have just took £700 from me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And they'll
because
come back
there is a lot of people out there that will do that.
Oh, yeah. They just inject for the sake of injecting. For example, if someone comes in and they don't need something, and the patient's like, oh, I need under eye filler, but they just squeeze it in for the sake of it, just for the money.
And I even look back on mistakes I've maybe made in the past where someone's been allowed to book in for something, and then you almost just they just book in for like 3 mil jaw filler, and it's like, well, like, you don't get to decide if you're having 3 mil jaw filler. That's and I realise now that's my discretion.
Because sometimes jaw filler can make you look too wide, for example.
Yeah, when we're doing our treatments, we literally offer, it's like individual treatments like lips or under eyes, more specific stuff. Yeah. But in terms of all of the other bits and bobs, we sell it as a transformation package, and that is it. So you can pick the 2, 3, 4. They don't come in just because they pick 3, they get 3.
Yeah,
it's just
you have 4, or they might have 2, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you treat them more holistically, would you say?
100%. And I think, I wish I knew now what I knew back then.
Yeah.
Because what I do now changes lives.
I actually remember when I trained with Dr. Zach, who we were speaking about before, actually, because you've been on his trainings as well. He actually said that don't treat what the patient wants. No. Don't remember the exact words, but look at the whole face and treat it artistically.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best approach.
Well, so many people will come in and they will say, and some of these people come in with really like deep-rooted problems that are really affecting them in their social environment. They feel really self-conscious. Maybe they feel that they have like too much fat under their chin, and they'll say, I just want the jaw. And then you'll treat the jaw, but you're not treating the actual problem.
You're not treating
Whereas if you did the chin, for example, you projected the chin forwards, then that's more, and it's just having the confidence to divulge deep. So I always say, if you're not sure in a consultation, so I learned on my mastermind, it's like there should be 3 unravels. So say, how can I help you today? And just let someone talk. Don't fill the gaps, just let them talk. Wait 20 seconds. And then they'll unravel again.
Okay.
Because they'll be like, they won't know what to say. And by the 3rd unravel, they've told you that their sister's best friend's hamsters died and all of this, and and they've done it for you.
Yeah.
And half the time they will have said, oh, by the way, and can you just look at my whole face? And they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, let people unravel.
Yeah, it's like with medicine as well. I think 80% of diagnosis is done with what the patient tells you rather than the examination.
Yeah.
I think the examination is only just for the sake of, the
Yeah.
patient feeling like they've
I
got
think
what
we
they
all
need.
just sit there
Yeah.
doing a lot of my consultation. I can tell within like 15 minutes what we're actually going to do, and
Yeah.
obviously like the medical record and all of the
Yeah,
things.
of course.
But half of it, you're just saying it to
Listening.
say that you've said it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And do you find all these people on Instagram practitioners with these
Yeah.
things, measuring their faces and stuff?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
all just a marketing scheme?
So I
Would you say
have
that?
them, and I
Yeah.
teach people how to use them
Yeah.
because I think I don't need to use them.
Yeah,
I think a
'cause
lot
you've
of
got
us
the
don't
eye
need
for
to
it.
because I
Yeah.
have the eye for it.
Yeah.
But it's a really great tool. So a lot of people in consultations are like visionaries. They're visual learners. So you can say, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Some people want to see a picture of it. Some people learn through telling you what they want. And then other people learn from like you showing them. And they're a great tool to establish trust, authority, and to literally show them this is like to measure the intercanthal distance to the chin. You know, all of the things.
Obviously,
and it makes you
marking out
sound
the
and
areas.
look really
Yeah.
cool.
Exactly.
And then they're like, oh, okay, I get it. And it's literally like proof because you're literally saying like, I'm following something that's been proven.
Yeah.
So it gives you credibility. And I think in
more
the
trust.
early stages,
It's definitely.
and if you're trying to upsell people into packages, obviously
Explaining
for the right reasons,
Yeah.
you can then justify it.
Yeah.
So
It's like, I mean, you can visually see it when I treat chins, for example. If someone's forehead is maybe longer and then this the lower third of the face is shorter, prolonging the chin is just going to make them look more harmonious.
Yeah,
and
straight away.
more petite and more beautiful per se. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So one more question. If you could go back in time,
yeah,
who would you spend time with? Which character from back in the day would you want to see and learn from and meet? And what do you think they can give you? What
in
can you learn
terms
from them?
of
And in terms of like a role model, for example, or a historical figure.
okay, like as in terms of anyone.
Anyone, yeah. It could be anyone.
Oh, okay.
It could be entertainment. It doesn't have to be in the industry as well.
Yeah. I would say very like unconventional.
Yeah, go for it.
I would say Kris Jenner.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
I think she's got a very normal background, like all of us, and she's now running like 6 multi-billion pound empires.
Okay.
Like that's no easy feat.
No.
And I think she has a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
And whether or not I mean, she must be an insane businesswoman.
Yeah.
But regardless, she will have walked so many different paths that we can all relate with. I think she's really relatable.
Yeah.
I just think she's an icon.
So Kris Jenner, do you think she's the mastermind behind everything that she's running right now?
I don't know if she's necessarily the mastermind, but I think she's the one that keeps everything together.
Okay. And she's a serial marketer, would you say? Or
she's the heart.
She's the heart
of the most talented. I say talented, people like then she's not talented.
Yeah.
She did a sex tape.
Yeah.
I think she's an icon.
Okay.
I think if people had to do a sex tape and they knew they were going to get that success at the end of it, I'd be there with bells on.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
But in the industry, in terms of like specific people in the industry, I love Zach Ali because he took me in from day dot. He made me feel very welcome. I always felt so supported. He's so sincere. He's so humble, and he's an absolute like weapon. He's so talented.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just think he's amazing. I wish more doctors were like him.
Yeah. That give value to people.
And he really gives back.
Yeah. Not just charging for his courses and
journey,
churning out practitioners. Rather, he actually teaches you something.
Yeah, he gave me a lot in the early days, and I'll never forget that. So I'm really grateful for him.
And what advice would you give our viewers, for example, or future practitioners, or anyone in general business? What advice would you give someone? Maybe not too much advice.
Yeah.
They could wait for your course, actually. But 1 or 2 pieces that they could leave with today just to start their careers or get out that victim mode, or something important that you feel that you can give people.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd say keep things simple. I would say know your core values, like I said, because they're going to be your strengths and they're going to be the things that stop you going into victim mode, burning out, and all of the things. Stay aligned which again, I've said, stay grateful, have immense gratitude for any opportunity that comes your way.
Yeah.
And just, sorry, I keep looking at you. I have to crop this one.
No, it's okay. Go for it.
And be a sponge. So just drop the ego and constantly adopt this growth mindset. Enjoy the imposter in you and keep putting yourself in rooms full of people that know more than you. And just remember that you get to create, be and do like whoever the fuck you want to be. You get to create whatever you want to create
your
regardless
life.
of who you are. Even if you are a gardener, you still get to create whatever you want to create. You don't even have to be an injector. You can employ some people to do that for you.
Yeah.
You are you get to do it all.
Yeah.
So just have gratitude for all of the things that come your way and just keep learning. Be a sponge.
Yeah. I'm a sponge today, 100%. I've learned literally in the last, I'd say 50 minutes to an hour that I've been talking. I've learned a lot, to be honest. And I think I'm going to go home today and implement all of these things because I've still got a far, let's say a long journey left in my kind of clinic, for example. And I think I've made a lot of mistakes. And today I can rectify a lot of those mistakes and start even promoting my clinic even further and growing as well, getting out that growth stage and having that freedom, I think, and to spend time with your family and friends.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and money, obviously, money shouldn't be the motivator, as you said. It should be that we have a very short life.
Yeah.
God knows if we're here tomorrow.
100%.
And I mean, hopefully we can create something for ourselves in the future.
It's just having that financial peace of mind, isn't it?
And a quick question, I mean, just for my benefit and possibly the viewers, what kind of things do you teach on your coaching? Because I know you started it recently after, being in the clinic for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you teach exactly and how can we benefit from it?
So I teach injectors, academies, anyone in the healthcare industry, how to build a sustainable business that stands the test of time, because that's what we want, right? We want to create a business that we don't necessarily have to be in.
Yeah.
So I show you how to create a business that you don't have to work. You get to work on the business rather than in the business.
Yeah.
So you can then remove yourself out. So how to create generational wealth and have a business that stands the test of time, basically, whether or not that's online. So I love online training is my jam, whether or not you want to do coaching, whether or not you just want to be fully booked.
Yeah.
And I have one of my strengths is recognizing other people's strengths and helping them to lead whatever life they want to lead.
And how much do you charge for this? Just so everyone
the course
knows.
Right now it fluctuates.
Yeah.
The course is 3,997.
Yeah.
But that's at the time of recording this, and I'm always tweaking depending on what people want.
Yeah.
So.
And how is it structured?
So you get a syllabus, and then you have you get the syllabus, which you can log into and watch whenever you want, and then you get hot seat coaching. So once a month we get together. And you can pick my brains as much as you want.
Okay, so you can actually talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then people can submit their questions before, jump on the call.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants maybe to be on a call. Some people prefer their support through the Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group too. So you get really tailored, structured support. And you also get the community and connection.
Yeah.
Like your net worth is your network. So the community aspect is huge.
Okay.
Because collaboration is, as I said, is your
and
network.
there again, collaborating with people, becoming friends with people, removing that toxic nature.
And you get to learn
and dropping the ego
much from other people.
Yeah.
And they're all on the same trajectory of growth as yourself.
Okay.
So
And what kind of successes have you seen from some of your clients, would you say?
God. They've blown me away. Like one of the ladies added an extra 30 grand to her business.
Wow. In the space of?
In 8 weeks. And then I've had a lot of them come and say after 7 or 8 weeks, they're hitting their first 10K month, like maybe the newbies that have just joined. Someone's done an extra £67,000. Which is amazing because it's all relative to the person. I mean, I've got some mums that are now like, I'm not stressed. I'm in clinic 1 day a week and I'm earning all this money and I'm happy.
That's it.
And that's all I need. And I'm super happy.
I've got a personal project of mine.
Yeah.
I've started doing I've done a video course, for example, on lips.
Not a modelling shoot then.
Not a modelling shoot. I'd love to, but I think too many white hairs. But for example, I've done a video shoot of oh bloody hell, what's got this called? Okay, so I've done a video shoot and I've recorded a masterclass.
Yes.
Lips masterclass. But I have no idea on how to market it. I am not a marketing genius. I'm more like an empath. I love talking to people. And I love that personal interaction face to face, for example. Like my social media, I've got a good number of followers, but I still can't express myself on social media. And how would I go about marketing this, for example? One tip for me, but also, is your course like tailored to that kind of thing? Like
so that's my bread and butter. Like that is, I think a lot of people think the course is just people that want to get fully booked.
Yeah.
Like online courses and passive income is how I was hitting those 100K months. Like that's my thing.
Yeah.
So courses, funnels, all of the things.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think you need to remember, like, you don't have to be all of those things.
Yeah.
As long as you know the basics, you know what you need, you get a team in and they can do it for you.
So who would I need, for example, in a team?
So you're going to need someone that does tech.
Okay.
So if you've got an online course, you'll need someone that does tech, obviously, to set it all up.
Yeah.
You'll need someone like a copywriter.
Okay.
Which in my program, you get access to people that do copy and all of the things.
Yeah.
And I bring in guest experts too that speak on these things. So copywriter, so someone that writes.
Yeah.
And knows the power of words, because words are really fucking powerful.
Yes.
Because you need to obviously sell the course.
Yeah.
I need someone tech because everything needs to be on a funnel, basically.
So a funnel, what's a funnel? Is it like a
It's how you move a customer from here to here, basically. A funnel could be a sales funnel, as it in terms of like clients, how you get the first lead and then sell them into a package.
Yeah.
Or it could literally be a sales page on your online course or whatever.
Okay.
There's so many different, but there's so much to that.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it.
But I have you'll smash it.
So I'm sold. Okay. And I hope a lot of our viewers are sold. So you'll be seeing me hopefully very soon on that call. But I hope we can do another podcast in the future.
I'd absolutely love to. I'm really grateful that you've asked me. I'm so thankful.
No, I'm really happy to be here today. And I think I've learned a lot. But one question I'll ask you before we cut off.
Yes.
What treatments do you think I can have? So I've had Botox.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you do to me to change myself?
You need it all.
Yeah? 100%? Oh my God. Oh, I'm in shock. What do I need? Like lipo or?
No, you look so fresh.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You look fresh and you smell very fresh as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, you do. And your skin's amazing.
Seriously?
Yes. I think skin is like everything.
So I've noticed since I've turned 30 that my skin's just getting worse and worse every day.
You have gorgeous
skin.
I think skin is, if you can get the skin right, then the treatments can come secondary.
So I'm being like a typical patient. Do you think I need nasal lines?
No.
Yeah? No?
No, I don't think you do.
Serious?
Because I think it will puff you out.
Okay, will it be too puffy over here?
Yeah.
Because I always get obsessed. I
like expression.
You like expression, yeah. So would you tell patients?
You've got the Botox in the forehead. You've got the beard.
The beard's there covering.
You want a bit
I've got a chin implant literally with the beard. No, I'm joking. It's projecting my chin a little bit.
Yeah.
But if any patients are watching this, would you say minimalistic treatments are better
100%.
than overfilling?
Yeah, 100%. You need to protect yourself. If you want to protect yourself from complaints, like potentially lawsuits and stuff like that, you need to be able to justify your treatment.
Yeah, why?
And I don't care whether or not you're a medic or a non-medic. You can still use the medical model to justify your treatments. It doesn't matter. I think loads of people feel really like, I don't know what the word is. What's the word? Like, that they can't, as a non-medic, that
use
they're
the
really
medical
pushed to the
terms,
side.
the
Like,
models.
you still get to implement all of that and run a really great, like, ethical business.
Yeah.
So why not use it?
Yeah.
But 100%.
And I think,
less is more.
I mean, there's a lot that we can talk about, and I've got so many new ideas.
Yeah.
But I think next time we could really talk about the whole debate with medics and non-medics, for example.
Of course.
And we could get like maybe a medic in.
Yeah.
And see what everyone
we can all
says.
sit and argue.
And then we could get exactly, not argue, but like say what's happening in the industry, because
there's so many different perspectives.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the perspectives we can all agree with certain parts of.
Yeah, because I mean, generally speaking, in the UK, we're allowed to do. We've got this freedom of, I mean, having a lot of different variety of people in the industry. And to be honest, I think 90% of people are quite safe. and quite ethical when it comes to it. Maybe 10 to 15%.
But I think
are a bit rogue.
Some people, there's rogue non-medics and there's rogue medics.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. If you get a bad egg, you get a bad egg.
Exactly. Whether he's got a degree.
Regardless.
That's
so
it.
I think, and you also have to consider, are we potentially, regardless of what side of the fence anyone's sitting on, you have to question yourself. If someone's going to do it anyway, are they not better off being educated?
Exactly.
That's the argument that I would say.
And do you think the Daily, I mean, this is another topic for another day, but do you think the Daily Mail over-exaggerates occlusions and the number of occlusions that happen in the UK? Is it over-exaggerated or is it actually a real thing? Because I've never experienced an occlusion, touch wood.
Yeah, I touch wood. I haven't. I mean, I also think
the blessed wood.
I've treated them, obviously, for other people. I think that's a really difficult question to answer because I think there could be an argument that if you haven't yet had an occlusion, maybe you haven't injected enough faces or if you haven't seen one, which sounds stupid for me because I touch wood haven't had one.
Yeah.
But I also am a believer in you could be the best injector in the world and, have had an occlusion.
Yeah. I mean, it's part and parcel of the whole medical or treatment aspect of things,
that's it. I mean, if someone's having like 3 in a month, then it's then
there's something wrong.
Bells.
Go on some training then,
I think you need a bit of training.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You are
and I look forward to seeing you
very,
very
soon. I'm really grateful. And I'll be back with
100%. And I'll see you on that course. Thank you.
Thank you.